How you going, folks? Alright, tonight I'm going to be doing something a little different to the normal. I'm not camping, not fishing, not going out in my kayak. Tomorrow I'm going to be cooking 2 pork Scotch roasts. Tonight I'm preparing one, I'm going to let it marinate overnight, and then tomorrow I'm going to do the other one. It's just going to be seasoned, well seasoned. It's going to get a nice bark on it, whereas this one's sort of going to stay moist on the outside and caramelize. It's a bit of an experiment. I've never actually done either of them. It's 2 new recipes that I've found online, YouTube, and yeah, we're going to give it a go. So these are, like I said, pork Scotch roasts. They're also called pork butts, collar butts. They're actually from about this part of a pig. Nothing to do with the butt. That's just what they called it. So this one I'm going to season tonight. Wrap it up in Glad wrap and let it marinate overnight. It's going to probably go for 12 hours. I'm hoping to start them about 8 o'clock tomorrow morning in the Weber. They're about 1.8, 1.9 kilos each in the bin. Right. Lovely cut of meat. I'll just go wash my hands. Alright, always got to keep your hands nice and clean when you're dealing with pork. Don't want to spread salmonella. So this is just a simple seasoning that I've made up. It's got brown sugar, salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and a bit of smoked paprika. Just grind it up in a grinder, or I used a what is it, an Isogenics blender. Thanks, Isogenics. Alright, so we're going to apply this liberally. Give it a good coating. Now I'll only use one hand, so I don't need to keep going to wash my hands. We're going to work that into all the little crevices. Get it in there, work it right in there. Spin the meat around. Now what's going to happen is, while this is in the fridge overnight, the salt in it is going to draw some of the moisture out and then be reabsorbed. So that's going to give it a bit of extra flavour. So I've been told anyway. Like I said, I've never actually done this. But it sounded legit. Whereas the other one, I'm just going to do exactly the same thing that I'm doing now, and we're just going to whack it straight in the Weber. So it's not going to have a chance to soak in and get moist on the outside again. Alright, I think we are just about done. Oh, it smells so good. I use this seasoning on pretty much all my cooking. It's so simple yet delicious. A little bit there. I'm a bit fussy with how I do this. Alright, I'll just quickly go wash my hands again because I need to do the Glad wrap. Alright, I'll just move this out of the way for a moment. I can get my Glad wrap. Alrighty, now we can just plonk that into the middle. I'll just give that another good wrap, just to keep all the moisture inside. Can go back in there. We're going to let that sit overnight, and then we're going to start again tomorrow morning about 8 o'clock, 8:30. Tune in then. Alright, it's morning. It's about 10:30. It's a bit later than I would have preferred, but stuff happens. The roast I marinated last night. It's been marinating overnight. It's obviously been longer than 12 hours. It's been 14 and a half hours, so should be extra marinated now. We're gonna get them on the barbie. I preheated the barbie about an hour ago. I've got the charcoal going. I've just added some more, so it's gonna kick along for the next few hours. So let's get into it. All right, so here's the one we seasoned and marinated last night. This is the new one. I'm going to season that right now. Before I do that though, I'm just going to cut this one open so we can get that on there. I've just got a roasting dish with some onions in there and a wire rack over that, because we're going to put the roasts on the wire rack. We don't want them sitting in their juices. Alrighty. Get that going. Oh, it feels extra moist. Now this one's just going on as a dry rub, so it's going to give it a nice, hopefully give it a nice bark. If you don't know what that is, it's when the outside stays nice and dry and goes all crispy and crunchy and like a bark. I suppose that's why they call it that. Who would have thought? Sorry about the audio. My neighbour's been whippersnippering his entire back lawn for the past, we're almost coming up to an hour now, so I tried to wait for him to stop, but obviously we need to get this meat on. Just like the other one, make sure you get all the seasoning into all the cracks and crevices. Coat it liberally. Alright, I'm pretty happy with that. There we go, and that one can go next to that one. Alright, so that didn't work, so we're just putting the meat straight on. Bugger it. Alright, we've reached the 2-hour mark. Just come to check on everything. Give it a squirt down with, this is just apple juice. Just give it a bit more moisture, and this will help it caramelize up. Get a nice good coating on the outside. It's a noisy spray bottle. Alright, get the cover back on. So plenty of heat beads still in there, so we don't need to top them up just yet. Alright, another 2 hours, we'll be back. Alright, we're coming right up on the 3.5 hour mark. Wanted to come out and just check the internal temperature. Once we get to about 160, I like to wrap it in the foil. So at the moment, looks like we're right on the 160 mark. Yep, just a little bit over 160, so we can wrap these up and let them continue cooking. Alrighty, back on the heat. Alright, I think these have got about another 2 hours to go. I want them to come up to an internal temperature of 190 Fahrenheit. So we'll let them continue on and be back a bit later. Alright, we've just passed the 5 hour mark. I've already checked the internal temperature. We're at just over 190 degrees Fahrenheit, which is perfect for pulled pork. So we're going to pull them off now and let them rest for about 45 minutes to an hour. 1, 2. Alright, so these are just going to continue cooking a little bit longer while they're resting. Let's get them inside to rest. Alrighty, my meat's been resting for an hour, so it should be nice and tender and moist now. Just start with this one. Now the reason I let it rest for an hour is because after you finish cooking it, while you're cooking it, sorry, all the muscles and tendons all constrict, and what resting does is it allows those muscles to relax, lets all the moisture back in, and just generally makes it much more tender. So I'll just tip that over there. Now there's a little bit of moisture in there, but not too much. It's all been reabsorbed back into the meat. Now all we have to do is pull it apart. Nice and tender. Still a bit hot, but we'll get through. Alright, it was too hot for me fingers, so I had to go and get some tongs. Now I've just been eyeballing this little bit here, so chef's privileges. This is just how I like them. Bit of pork and some fresh buns. Bit of barbecue sauce. Some lovely fresh coleslaw. Slather that on. There's not many things that could beat this in my eyes. Oh. Dig in. Enjoy.